So in this video, we're going to talk about how to get testimonials with actual teeth. Today, if you look at the reviews that agents get on Zillow, for example, or the reviews that they get on their website, they're very wimpy. They're very floppy reviews. And what you want to have are reviews that communicate a specific benefit that client got from doing business with you that they wouldn't have necessarily gotten from doing business with one of your competitors. Now, to get a good testimonial is a little bit of an art and science combined, so let's dig into it. To begin, you'll want to have the review pre-written. And the best time to do that is after you've already got the deal under contract and you're heading to the closing table. What you want to do is you want to look at what transpired in the transaction, and you're going to want to communicate it in a way that is clear to the general public. So an example of that is if I helped someone buy a home for $20,000 less or $10,000 less or $9,876 less than the asking price because it was part of the negotiation, that would be the testimonial. Mike helped me buy my home for $9,762 less than the asking price. Working with Mike was very helpful. We really appreciated everything that he'd done for us. And you can go into some of the soft stuff, right? You're going to want to write that out. And that is going to be on a little piece of paper that you bring with you to the closing table. And after they close their home, that's when they're the happiest. Once they've got done signing all of the papers and they're already in the habit of signing their name, you're going to want to slide that over to them and say, hey, would you review this? And if you agree with it, would you mind signing it? I've never had anyone say no. So at that time, they're going to sign it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, do you mind if we get a quick picture, right? Have the closer take the picture of you smiling. And now that is a beautiful testimonial. If you were to sell their home, and let's say that you sold their home for a higher than the average list to sell ratio in your market, let's say the average list to sell ratio was 97% and you sold it for 99.45%, you want to have those specific numbers in there because they communicate truth and they communicate specificity, which makes it more believable to the prospect who's reading this testimonial. So if you sold it for over the asking price, which we've seen in the recent past, you're going to want to communicate that as well. You know, Mike sold my home for 102% of the asking price. Some of my favorite on the sell side is if I took an expired listing. If I took an expired listing, I would start out, you know, after being on the market for 6 months with another agent. Mike sold my home in 34 days. You want to do the date that it was under contract, not when it closed, in 34 days for 98.95% of the asking price. Wish I would have called Mike sooner. He was great to work with. Thanks, Mike. And you want to make it short and sweet, almost a bullet point like that, because the way that you're going to use these is going to be on your website. It's going to be in your listing and buyer's presentation, and it's going to be in all the other forms of marketing that you do, so that when somebody looks at it, they're not going to read all of that information. They're just going to look at the brass tacks. Mike saved me X. Mike made us Y. Mike sold my home in this amount of time after it was on the market for this amount of time with another agent, right? And those are the things that you're going to want to have in bold. So you want to be prepared when you come to closing with your testimonial. You want to look at it. And again, you want to inverse what happened in that transaction, and you want to communicate the most pertinent things that occurred that are, again, were a benefit to your client and a benefit to somebody who's doing research on you to determine whether or not they want to work with you or another agent. So your homework on this video is to think of your last transaction, come up with how you could have communicated a testimonial with some teeth to it. And then I want you to look around at other agents' testimonials in your marketplace, and I want you to think about how you're going to be able to really just come over the top of a lot of the things that agents are having being said about them. Some of the worst are, you know, Mike answered his phone all hours of the night. Mike was constantly available for us. What you're doing in these situations, what the agent is doing inadvertently, not knowing that I was trying to serve my client, is they're saying I was unemployed, right? Or I didn't have anything better to do. Just a horrible way to position yourself. And remember, your positioning becomes your position when you're in marketing, and that's the position that you're in. You are in marketing. So let's go ahead and let's look around. Let's get some of these put together. And what I'd like you to do is write a testimonial from one of your past transactions, how you could have positioned that, post it in the Facebook group, and tag me so I can look at it and kind of dive in with you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.